Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Been a minute since I last posted. Apologies if you hear some noise outside, but kind of just wanted to get on here, kind of just talk about like some things I've noticed um, and think could really help, and some things I'm going through right now. It's just like some things that I feel like the NCAA just doesn't like prepare you for, you know, as in life post college athletics, right? Like, I feel like if you're someone like me who, did sports in college, um, you pretty much, for the most part, have probably been doing sports your entire life and have been a part of a team your entire life, and then all of a sudden, you graduate from college and then it's like, okay, great. Like, now what, like, there isn't really like, I mean, yeah, like you have, job postings, and depending on the college you go to, they might have different like programs or job fairs to kind of help you, and advisors and stuff, to try and help you like get a job. But it's like there isn't anything that kind of like prepares you for life like after sports. And I guess that some people go through it sooner, but I feel like, you know, I'm sure people who, stop being an athlete after high school kind of go through the same thing. But I also feel like it's different because I think, like, I feel like, like the sports I stopped playing before college, I kind of like was able to find my identity, around those sports, but like, but find alternatives. And I feel like in college, like college was a major growth point for me, like in my life. And I feel like because I was able, a major growth point, and I feel like I grew a lot mentally, spiritually, and physically in college. I feel like the sports I stopped doing and activities I stopped doing in high school, like, and didn't do in college, it was way easier to grow and like figure myself out, and find other outlets through college. Whereas with running, it's like, like, or just being a college athlete, like, I feel like the NCAA just doesn't, like, there's no preparation that tells you like, oh, hey, like, you're gonna go through like all these things. But like, I guess like to kind of, before I get into this video, make sure you like and subscribe, support the channel, share this video with anyone that is a college athlete, or maybe they just graduated and they were, a college athlete, kind of get this out there. Maybe it can help people, or me just sharing my experience. If you are a college athlete or post collegiate athlete or former collegiate athlete and you're watching this, feel free to put in the comments what you think or things you've noticed. But these are just some things I've noticed that the NCAA just does, like, or not just like what I feel like college they don't. And I mean like the governing institutions like NAIA, NCAA, NJCAA, whatever, they don't prepare you for post college. And I think probably the one of those things is that, like, that lack of identity, really, right? Like, I kind of touched on this earlier, but like your whole life, you are this athlete and you're a student athlete, right? And then you graduate, and then it's like, okay, like this one thing that I've been doing my whole life is gone, it's done, it's over with, right? Like, there isn't like I mean, I guess like if you're like some sports, you can go on and still compete in like running, thankfully, like, us runners, we can enter races, if we want to run on a track, we can enter events on the track, as unattached athletes, or we can go into road racing and run. But like that, like, sense of like belonging and identity is just gone, right? Like there isn't like a team around you that's like that holds you accountable to get up, right? Like I think about my day now, like I get up before work and I go for a run. You know, right now it's winter time where I'm at, you know, and it's cold, you know, living in Chicago, it's pretty cold. And so like it's like 10 degrees sometimes at 6 o'clock in the morning, but I'm going out for a run because it's like, well, you know, work starts for me at 7:40, so I got to get the run in before work, you know, and you know, because I don't do it before work, I have to wait till after, which after it's still dark because sunset's like 4:50, you know, so it's crazy, but yeah, I feel like I struggle with this now, even though like I'm still like somewhat training. It's just like that really like lack of identity and like trying to find out who I am apart from sports, because like I feel like that's such a big part of my identity that I partly just like have been clinging on to, um and even in like post college life, because like that's all I've known. Like I've been involved in sports since I was 5 years old, you know, so like more than like pretty much my entire life I've been involved in sports, right? You know, like it's hard, man. And man, but yeah, that's kind of like how I feel, I think. But then like, you know, okay, so like another thing that I don't know, like the NCAA or other collegiate governing bodies don't prepare you for is that like um just that like no one really cares about like your college sports experience. Like I think one of the things I realize is that, you know, when they say like 2% of high school athletes go on to do their sport in college, that's a really small amount of people. And, you know, to most people, when you talk about like the grind of being a college athlete, like most people don't get it. Like they just don't get it. And in the workforce, like you can bring it up, but like no one's going to relate to you, I guess, unless you work for like, I don't know, a professional sports team. Most people don't understand like you tell them like, oh, like I've noticed this even in like just like job interviews or just like meetings with coworkers, like they don't understand like what you put in to like be a student athlete. Like I feel like outsiders just kind of give like student athletes like a bad rap, and like not like, you know, you hear it all the time, like people mocking like student athletes for just like, you know, the simplest things, you know, even though like technically student athletes just statistically are more likely to graduate with honors and are more likely to actually graduate from college. You know, I think we still get like a bad rap for that. Even in like this video, like I'm talking about like I'm still a student athlete, but I'm not. It's kind of weird, but I guess that's the point of this channel, right? Like talk about like what life is like, you know, if someone who's, you know, training post collegiately and still trying to compete and stuff. But yeah, I mean, like it's crazy, I guess. You know, segueing into like, I don't know, like another thing, like if like you just aren't prepared for, it's just like, I don't know, like transitioning, like what to do, honestly, like what to do, or just like ways. I wish there were more ways to show like how you can maximize your abilities as a student athlete and make money. Obviously now with the NIL stuff, like I'm sure there'll be tons of classes on maximizing your potential in NIL like in the future, but like I wish there were things like, how to like for instance, you're a basketball player, like they, instead of like making you get a job, like how about like teaching people like, hey, here's how you start your own AAU basketball team, right? Or like for runners, like here's how, this is what this looks like running post collegiately, how can you, here are a bunch of like running organizations that like hire runners, right? Like these are all jobs you can do in running. Like I feel like for me, like coming out of college is like, okay, you have your people who work in run specialty, which I do part-time on the weekends, and then you have like your coaches, right? But like there's so many more things. Like you have like, I don't know, you can be a biomechanist and get a PhD, but then work directly with runners, or you can be a rep um, for like a running shoe company. Gosh damn, stop honking. Sorry. People are being obnoxious. You know, you can, I was saying, you can be like a rep for a running shoe company, like there are reps who their job is to go to different running shoe stores around the country and just talk about the new products that are coming out, right? Like you can be like, there are ambassador programs for different brands where you can partner with brands and, you know, kind of like MLM, but like, you get maybe a code and people can use your code to get discounts on products, and you get free stuff. And there are tons of things you can do, like in running. And now with YouTube, like, I mean, you can be a run influencer, or you can do like, I don't know, running shoe reviews. There's so many things you can do now, and I wish that like I wish it was like a required course where it's like I don't know, economics and fill in the blank sport, right? Like, and it just showed you like taught you the different ways in which you can make money in your sport. Because I feel like as a collegiate athlete, my thoughts were to make money running, I either am a pro runner, I work in run specialty, or I coach, right? That was it. Like, right. Other than that, I was like, okay, maybe I can work for Nike, be one of the lucky few that get to work at Nike or Adidas or, I don't know, New Balance or whatever, and work in their labs or whatnot. But like those are like highly sought after jobs that like only the brightest of the bright get. So it's like, okay, like, that's not possible. But yeah, I just wish that there was like an outlet where I could take a course and like maybe call it economics and like track and field, and I can just learn all the ways to like make money in track and field, right? Like that would be so cool, right? Instead of like me being like, oh, I have to major in this to get a job, and then like I guess just like a fourth little tidbit that I've learned just for and this is more catered towards running, is that racing is expensive, dude. Like, I don't think, another thing, like, it's so expensive to race. And then, like, the certain things you take for granted when you're a collegiate runner, like travel, eating, like food, like race entry fees, like lodging, like where are you going to stay, just like the logistics of like doing one race. There's like so many things you have to think, like, is it in town, is it out of town? If it's out of town, how am I going to get there? I'm going to drive, I'm going to fly, do I have to take off work? Do I have enough PTO days to take off to travel to this race? If not, can I get away with taking a half day? Can I get away with working remote? Like, those are certain things I think that you don't really mentally prepare for. Like, luckily for me, I work from home, so I can always just like take my laptop and go wherever. But it's like most people don't have that luxury. What about people who don't have that luxury, like who like have to take off, right? And if you're not salaried, right, like taking off is you like losing money. Like you're not making money that day. Like I'm salaried, like I can take a day off and still get paid for that day. But like if you're not salaried, you're not getting paid, right? If you're not working and you're hourly, you're not working, you're not getting paid. So it's like it's a lot of things to think about. And you know, I just wish that like those are things that were talked about in college, right? Like why aren't we being taught those things? You know, why aren't we being taught to market ourselves? You know, and all these, just there's so much, man. Like there's so much. I don't know. I feel like I can ramble on forever, but I also feel like no one wants to hear me ramble on for 30 minutes. So I'm just gonna stop it there. But yeah, just to kind of like summarize real quick, you know, like and subscribe. But it's just like, yeah, the things I wish that they taught us was that you deal with the lack of identity, you know, the lack of accountability, you know, your just like lack of knowledge about what, you know, lack of knowledge of how you can make money in your sport post college. Because whether you know it or not, like you being a college athlete is a brand. Like you are making a brand for yourself. So we should be taught like how to market ourselves and build our brand and build off of that collegiate athlete brand, because the reality is only 2% of college athletes go on to be pro athletes. So you're literally 2% of the 2% of your pro athlete, which is a very, very, very small percentage of the population, right? But there are so many more opportunities in running that everyone can't be a pro runner. But you can, like I said, you can be a rep for New Balance and make money. Like there's so many organizations now, and you can do coaching, like private coaching. Online coaching is getting big, you know. There's so many things you can do, right? I wish there was more in that. And also, fourth thing, just like knowledge on like the logistics of racing and what racing looks like post collegiate wise, right? Like how all that looks, because it's a lot to think about. Like you almost have to like set a budget for like races when the year start and saying like I'm gonna show up at like these races, and you know, this is how I'm gonna do it, because you have to plan it out. But I mean, anyway, like thanks for coming to my TED Talk. If you like this video, please share with other people you know. Feel free to like and subscribe. But anyway, thanks for watching.